A guy came into my shop last month bragging about his brand new Civic. $41,000 out the door after the markup, the protection package, and that $2,300 in dealer add-ons he did not have the spine to refuse. His payment is $640 a month for 72 months. I did the math in my head while he talked. He is going to pay nearly $50,000 for a compact car. Meanwhile, sitting in my lot was a sedan I would recommend over that Civic every single day of the week, and it cost less than 2 of his monthly payments. After more than 2 decades of turning wrenches, I can tell you the 3 cheapest, most bulletproof sedans on the used market right now will outlive that new Civic and cost you almost nothing to own. Let's count them down. Number 3. The 2009 to 2013 Toyota Corolla with the 1.8-liter 2Z RFE engine. I know what you're thinking. A Corolla on a list about outlasting a Civic feels like cheating, and maybe it is. But hear me out, because the specific generation matters more than the badge. The 10th generation Corolla runs the 2Z RFE, a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder, making 132 horsepower. Nobody is going to confuse that number with excitement, and that's exactly the point. This engine was built to be boring, and boring is what survives. It uses a timing chain, not a belt, so there is no scheduled belt replacement waiting to ambush you at 90,000 miles. It is naturally aspirated, so there is no turbo to grenade, and it is port injected, which means no carbon buildup choking the intake valves the way it does on modern direct injection motors. This is the kind of simplicity that runs to 300,000 miles on oil changes alone. Here's where the value lives. A clean 2011 or 2012 Corolla LE with somewhere around 120,000 miles is selling for $6,500 to $8,500, depending on your market. A brand new Civic, by the time the dealer is done with you, is north of $30,000. You are paying a quarter of the price for a car that, from a pure longevity standpoint, plays in the same league. RepairPal gives the Corolla a reliability rating of 4.5 out of 5, ranking it first in its class, with average annual repair costs around $362, well under the compact car average. I had a customer drive his 2010 Corolla into my bay last year with 271,000 miles on the original engine and original transmission. He wanted to know if it was finally time to replace it. I told him the truth. There was nothing wrong with it worth spending money to escape. He's still driving it. When you're shopping for one, there are a few things to check. First, watch for oil consumption on higher mileage examples. Some of these engines start using a quart between changes past 150,000 miles. It's not a death sentence, but you want to confirm the previous owner was actually checking the dipstick. Second, listen for any rattle on cold startup. The water pump and the VVT system can get noisy, and while neither is expensive, it's good leverage on price. Third, check the rear suspension and the rocker panels for rust if the car spent its life in a salt state. On a Corolla, the body gives out long before the engine does. Who should buy this? Anyone who wants the cheapest possible cost per mile and does not care one bit about turning heads. This is appliance reliability for the price of a decent used motorcycle. Number 2. The 2012 to 2017 Hyundai Azera with the 3.3-liter Lambda 2 V6. Now I can already hear the groans. A Hyundai on a list about outlasting Toyota engineering? Before you scroll away, understand exactly what this car is, and more importantly, what engine is under the hood, because this is the detail that separates a smart buy from a costly mistake. I am not talking about the 4-cylinder Sonatas with the Theta 2 engine that had the well-documented rod-bearing failures and oil consumption problems. Different car, different engine, different story entirely. The Azera runs the 3.3-liter Lambda 2 V6, the same engine family Hyundai dropped into the Genesis sedan and the larger Kia models. It produces around 293 horsepower. It runs a timing chain instead of a belt, and it has none of the bearing or oil consumption issues that haunted the smaller 4-cylinder. It's naturally aspirated, straightforward to service, and proven across hundreds of thousands of miles on multiple platforms. The depreciation on these is where it gets criminal. The Azera was Hyundai's full-size flagship sedan. When new, it stickered around $34,000 to $38,000 loaded, and it came loaded standard with leather seats, a panoramic sunroof, heated and ventilated seats, and a genuinely quiet, comfortable cabin that punches well above its badge. Today, a 2013 or 2014 Azera with 100,000 to 130,000 miles is selling for $7,000 to $9,500. That's over $25,000 in depreciation on a near-luxury sedan that drives smoother than that new Civic ever will, with a 6-cylinder that will outlast most 4-bangers on the road. The transmission is a conventional 6-speed automatic, not a CVT, not a dual clutch. It is just a proven gearbox that shifts cleanly and holds up when you service the fluid on schedule. When inspecting one, start with the transmission fluid. Pull the dipstick if it has one, or check the service records, because deferred fluid changes are the one thing that can shorten an otherwise durable powertrain. The fluid should be clean and red, not dark brown or burnt smelling. Next, test every single electrical feature because the Azera was loaded with them. And at this age, you want to confirm the panoramic sunroof, the ventilated seats, and the infotainment all actually work. Replacing that stuff at a dealer is not cheap. Finally, check the front suspension for clunking over bumps. These are heavy cars, and the control arm bushings wear faster than on a lighter sedan. But it is an inexpensive fix and good negotiating leverage. Who should buy the Azera? Anyone who wants a near-luxury cruiser for under $10,000 and is smart enough to ignore the badge snobbery. The only reason it is this cheap is that nobody cross-shops a Hyundai flagship when they are browsing under $10,000. That is their loss and your gain. Number 1. The 2007 to 2017 Toyota Avalon with the 2 GRFE 3.5-liter V6. This is the one. This is the sedan I put at the top of the list because pound for pound, dollar for dollar, there is not a better long-term value in the entire used sedan market, and the pricing makes absolutely no sense for what you are actually getting. Picture this: a full-size, quiet, leather-lined cruiser built on Toyota's most proven mechanical foundation, with an engine that shares its DNA with the Lexus ES and RX. And you can buy one right now with 120,000 miles for less than 4 of that guy's Civic payments. Nobody is shopping for these. That is precisely the opportunity. Under the hood sits the 2 GRFE, the 3.5-liter V6 that powers the Lexus ES 350, the Toyota Highlander, the Camry Vi6, and about a dozen other vehicles in the lineup. It makes 268 horsepower. It is chain-driven, so there is no timing belt to ever replace. It is naturally aspirated, so there is no turbo to fail. And it is port-injected, so you never deal with the carbon buildup that plagues modern direct injection designs. This is not some experimental powertrain. This is the single most proven, battle-tested V6 Toyota ever built. I have personally serviced these engines well past 300,000 miles, and they still pass compression tests like they rolled off the line yesterday. The 6-speed automatic bolted behind it is equally bulletproof, smooth, predictable, and virtually indestructible when you change the fluid on schedule. The Avalon regularly reaches 250,000 to 350,000 miles on nothing but routine maintenance. Now here is where the math gets ridiculous. A 2012 to 2014 Avalon with 100,000 to 140,000 miles sells for $9,000 to $13,000, depending on condition and trim. If you want an even better deal, the 2008 to 2011 models with the same 2 GRFE engine sell for $6,000 to $9,000. Compare that to what you would pay for a comparable Lexus ES 350, which is the same engine, the same platform philosophy, just a different badge and a fancier interior. The Lexus commands thousands more for what is mechanically the same experience. The Avalon just sits there on the lot waiting for someone who can do basic arithmetic. When new, this car stickered between $33,000 and $42,000, loaded with leather, a sunroof, heated seats, and a cabin so quiet you can hear yourself think at highway speed. Today it is the price of a used economy car with the durability of something that should cost 3 times as much. When you're shopping, here's the checklist that matters. First, on the 2007 to 2011 models, check the VVTi oil line. There's a rubber line on the variable valve timing system that should be replaced with the updated metal line. If it has not been done, budget $200 to $300 because if that rubber line fails, it can dump oil fast, and that is an engine killer. This is the single most important thing to verify on the earlier cars. Second, check the oil level and condition, because at higher mileage, these can consume a bit of oil. 1 quart every few thousand miles past 150,000 miles is normal, not a defect, but you want to confirm the previous owner was monitoring it. Third, test the transmission for any shudder between 40 and 60 miles per hour. A fluid service resolves most early shudder for a couple of $100. Fourth, check the front brakes and tires because these are heavier sedans and they go through front pads faster than a compact. Who should buy the Avalon? Honestly, almost anyone shopping for a sedan who values reliability and comfort over flash. Commuters who want to put another 200,000 miles on without anxiety. Retirees who want a quiet cruiser. Families who want space and durability for the price of a used Corolla. You are getting Lexus engineering wrapped in a Toyota badge, and the badge is the only thing keeping the price this low. So there they are. 3 sedans the market is sleeping on while everybody signs 72-month loans on new Civics they'll be underwater on for years. The Toyota Corolla, the boring appliance that refuses to die. The Hyundai Azera, the near-luxury flagship that depreciates like it has a disease but runs like it owes you nothing. And the Toyota Avalon, the Lexus in disguise that might be the single best value left in the entire used sedan market. You now know 3 cars you can buy for less than the cost of a few new car payments that will outlast that brand new Civic by 100,000 miles or more. The next time a salesman tries to push you into a 6-year loan on a compact with a markup sticker, you'll know there's a leather-lined, chain-driven, V6-powered sedan on the other side of the lot that nobody's paying attention to. If this kind of straight talk helps you shop smarter, hit subscribe. I have more videos coming on the cars mechanics actually trust versus the ones dealerships push, like if it helped. Drive safe, take care of your car, and it'll take care of you. I'll see you in the next one.